China's latest innings, they are playing this one in West Asia. The strategy is the same old one, infrastructure in exchange for energy and free trade. Beijing is putting a lot of resources to expand its One Belt, One Road project, and now it is aiming at making inroads into West Asia with huge investments. There are clear political statements in this regard. WION's West Asia Bureau Chief Daniel Pagani reports on this story.
The dragon never sleeps, and it moves swiftly. After Central Asia and the African continent, Beijing is now making its way into West Asia. Trade between China and the Arab world have their historic roots. It was there in ancient times when the Ottoman and the Arab Empire were the bridge between the East and the West along the Silk Route. And this is the very trade route Beijing aims to revive.
让我们发扬丝路精神，一步一个脚印儿，朝着目标前行，为实现中亚两大民族伟大复兴，推动建设中亚利益和命运共同体而不懈努力。
West Asia is a fundamental hook on the One Belt, One Road project. In his 6-year tenure, President Xi Jinping has personally put a lot of effort in enhancing ties with the Arab world. His strategy is based on 4 main pillars: energy cooperation, infrastructures, trade facilitations, and technology. China buys 70% of its oil from the Gulf and is working on free trade.
The negotiations regarding creating a free trade zone between the countries of the Gulf Cooperation Council and China are one of the most important pillars of our joint cooperation, especially with the size of commercial trade between GCC countries and China reaching $127 billion, a number that is likely to increase in the light of expanding the areas of cooperation and reinforcing them. At the level of Arabic-Chinese cooperation, the size of trade between Arabic countries and China has reached $191 billion in 2017.
The United Arab Emirates may be the flagship for China's West Asia strategy. The country is the gateway for more than half of Chinese goods into the Arab market. Chinese companies are completing the new container terminal in the Khalifa port, which is set to double its capacity. The bilateral trade is expected to reach $58 billion in 2019. And the UAE has granted shares of onshore and offshore oil blocks to Beijing. No wonder Xi Jinping was the first Chinese president to visit the Emirates in 30 years. But this is not all about the oil-rich Gulf. China is investing $90 million in Jordan, Lebanon, Syria, and Yemen. Jordan is in advanced talks with China National Nuclear Corporation to build its first nuclear reactor. Shifting from the traditional non-interference strategy, Beijing has also stepped into the long-standing West Asian issue.
中国在向巴勒斯坦提供1亿元人民币的无偿援助，用于支持巴勒斯坦发展经济、改善民生。中国还将向巴勒斯坦提供紧急人道主义援助。
Palestine imports $500 million worth of Chinese goods every year. China is the second largest supplier to the isolated Gaza Strip. Beijing supports the establishment of an independent Palestinian state with East Jerusalem as its capital. And Arab countries adhere to the One China policy, avoiding any relation with Taiwan. The Indian government is aware of China's territorial game in West Asia. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has traveled 5 times to the region to secure agreements with the Gulf countries, India's traditional economic partners. And New Delhi must keep looking west if it wants to effectively contain the aggressive Chinese soft power.
The Jordan Dragon Mall, which is located in the capital city of the country, Amman, and you can see it behind me, is just one minuscule example of what Beijing is trying to do in West Asia. They are building infrastructures and they are trying to facilitate the trade exchange as much as possible. They see in the entire West Asia a fundamental part of the One Belt, One Road project, but also a very large market where the Chinese goods can find a very good place because of their competitive prices. From Amman, Jordan, for WION, Daniele Pagani.